Alright, hello everyone and welcome. This is my project. This is a 2007 Ford Mustang V6 and it has a manual transmission. This car was pretty beat up when I got it. I replaced the fender, hood, bumpers, and then I painted the car this matte metallic blue, which looks really good. Waiting on a grill, but I'm gonna wait a little bit longer because I am doing an engine swap. So this V6 is going to come out of the car, and I have the donor back here. I know it's a mess, I'll quickly explain in a bit. But this is a 6.8 liter V10 out of an F250. And though that is a critical thing, because if you have the main wiring harness going to your control module, and then down here there's this black connector that goes to that fuse box and that column, and then that will allow you to get power and all your controls for the engine through these two wiring harnesses here on the left side of the engine. And when you power it up, you get 12 volts at everything, which is very good. But I'll bring you in on another update when I get it running outside the vehicle. After I get it running outside the vehicle, I'll fix that mess. That mess will have to be consolidated, and all the extra wires, like these are cut-off wires that went to the dash controls. We don't need those because we are going to be using both ECUs, the one from the V10 engine and then the one from the V6 engine, which controls your gauge cluster and everything else inside here. Well, not really. It goes to a body control module, but the ECU over here, I'll pull the connector that runs the engine, and then I will pin out the V10 engine to go into that one, so we can get oil pressure, coolant, and all that other fun stuff like tachometer and stuff like that, and we won't have to worry. And we will also be using the original key for the car and the original starter, because it all just bolts up, and it should work perfectly fine, but it will take a lot of pinning out of the V10 over there. And since this is a V6, you will need a different bell housing, which is over there, which connects to the T5 to the 6.8, which is just the standard Ford module V8 stuff. And yeah, basically it's not that hard. It is quite a bit of work, but I'll bring you in an update when I get the engine running. I've got the starter connected now, and the key will not do what it wants to do, but there's a solenoid as part of it, and you just hit it. It cranks over. It'll crank over like that. Right now I don't have any of that connected up yet, but that's the next step. Alright, I'm just way too excited here. Here, angle it over. Let's do this. Watch this shit. So, I got the shitty old little 4-liter V6 out. Big boy's empty, which means look at that. Look. Zoom out, you fuck. I guess not. But it fits perfectly. Oh! So we've got kind of the basic wiring in just to see if it does it. So we're connected right now, engine's in, and we're gonna jump the solenoid. Oh yeah, we cranking, it's going. Yeah. Alrighty, to properly mount a V10 in this new Edge Mustang 2007, you have to get the motor mount brackets from a GT version of this car, not a V6. The V6 brackets are a lot longer and will not bolt up to this block. But if you get the GT brackets, all you have to do is flip sides. So this is typically the right side bracket, and then you have to put the left side on the right side. And it makes it very quick and easy, and it bolts up right where it should. I can't even exaggerate how well this fits. Like, it just fucking bolts up. The ECU and the first fuse box mounted. Still have the stock turn signals where they should be. They clear the bumper and headlight, and it all sits nicely under headlight. But you look over there, that little bulge right there is perfect for this little overhang here. So nothing's going to be protruding out of the bumper and will be covered pretty nicely. Still dealing with the wire spaghetti, but this fuse box is going to be located on that side of the frame rail, and then the rest of the wiring that I don't need, because there's still a bunch of cut wires, will be trimmed down and capped. Okay, so I got the wiring for the engine right now to go, and I figured out how to get the key to turn it on. So I connected the signal wire from the original Mustang harness to the solenoid down here as its power source. So when you turn the key, it'll fire off, but it will just crank because it doesn't have signal to actually turn the Mustang ECU, which is down there. So a little bit of digging, a little bit of wire diagram hunting. I've consolidated the Mustang's harness to everything that you need to run it, and it's pretty easy. So that fuse box goes into the ECU and the other fuse box, and these are all the wires that you need. I'll do a more in-depth breakdown of that later, but to get your signal, all you need is to connect a spade connector into, there it is. You got to connect a spade connector into, what is it there? 1-1 on your connector, and then you'll get signal to all the computer to turn it on, and it will crank over. I'm gonna jump it here, but it'll crank over and fire. Just like that. I don't have any gas in it, so it literally will just fire. Okay, I got all of the wiring underneath the bumper cover complete, so I'm gonna do a final install on the bumper cover in a second here. But main fuse box, ECU, running over here to secondary fuse box. The secondary fuse box is attached to where the horn would normally be because it just bolts in directly. And then I relocated the horn down to an empty bracket down here. And then we have our main power wire for the ECU running down there into the fuse box and then the ECU. And then it comes up here to the junction relay. And then this wire hasn't been fully set in stone yet, but this is the ECU trigger power wire. So this will give power to the coils and everything else on the engine. And it runs down into a connector back here, which runs into those connectors there, which run into the ECU and the other fuse box. And it all works beautifully, surprisingly. It was quite a bit of trimming, and you can see all the little scraps of wiring from trimming it out, but everything works properly. Next step of the process is to get the sensor wiring on the V10 to work with the V6 harness, and that will require a little bit of splicing. Alright, I got another update for y'all. All the drivetrain is in now. Oh, all of it. Oh man, even the drive shaft, look at that. So, we've got the T3650. Nothing really changed about it. I went for a 1999 Cobra flywheel, which has the 8 bolts, which will bolt up to the V10, and then I went with the same clutch kit that pairs with it. The only thing is I don't have a mechanical clutch fork. I have a slave cylinder in there, which it works really good actually. And then going back here, you have the stock GT drive shaft going into a 373 limited slip rear end, and everything works nice and good. It spins, and yeah. Another update. Getting out from the car. So up front here, I have the concept for the belt system done. I'm not running a hydraulic power steering pump because it won't fit with the stock hoses here that connect to the coolant reservoir there. But I took the V6 tensioner, I trimmed the ribbed pulley down. I have to order an 8-rib pulley that matches the rest of it, but right now the concept works and it holds the belt nice and tight. And surprisingly, you can't really see it down there, but I'll go from underneath. There's plenty of room for the air conditioning system in here. Look at that. Perfect. So here's today's little update-ish. It's been a long day. One thing really kind of kept me up. So I got the grills in, and everything fit beautifully. And right now I've got the lower radiator hose fully intact and attached. Got the 8-rib pulley that I needed, and it works really good. I mean, you'll see in the other video on this update. Upper radiator hose, I just need to get something to connect there. I'm going to clean the inside of these two. It's just proof of concept right now. But I can get one there, and then the big project of today was down here. The steering rod. Yeah, that manifold, it's kind of in the way of the original location, so I had to space the motor mount up a little bit, like a ½ inch. So the motor is kind of like that right now, but you can't really tell, thankfully. But it got me clearance, and now if we look over here, we have steering. That's pretty important. It's fucking running! Yeah! Yeah! Oh my god, it's so loud! Oh yeah! Everything working! We've got tachometer, we've got oil pressure, the coolant gauge is going up, we're charging, it's running!